What's up guys? Today is not a fishing video, it is a boat update, I guess you could call it. So the Red Express still going strong, just doing a little bit of maintenance. So basically had to do some cleaning. Doggo's going crazy. Doing a little bit of maintenance. Basically pulled the little deck thing that I had in here off, and I'm coating that right now, and I'm adding another little deck along here, basically to lay rods on, fish on, storage underneath. I did have right here my sounder. Sounder's now moved up to the front so I can actually see it, because I'm always looking behind me. So 9 out of 10 times I'm standing here, my foot pedal goes here, and I'm standing basically on this. And yeah, I'm going to cover this as well in the same stuff I'm using, I think, for the time being. But later on down the track, basically from about here, blown out a little bit, from about here all the way to that middle deck, maybe a little bit, actually probably just to that middle deck, will be built up to about here. So it'll raise it up a good like 5 inches. But yeah, I'll go and show you what I'm doing now. So as you can see, the middle deck's looking a little haggard. I mean, that's from where I just cut it, but as you can see, it's working. But I've got a big roll of this, and it's basically just like a soft foam that I bought. It's like a soft foam that I bought from a cheap shop basically, and I'm going to cover that in this. And this is the deck that I'm basically just giving a quick lick of paint, like a bit of primer, just to seal it off a little bit, and then we'll screw that into the boat. So it'll be a good little deck. I don't think you'll be able to stand on it because I think it's a bit too far to the side, a little bit too far to the side, but yeah, let's do it. So that's one down. Definitely does the trick. I mean, it's a little excuse me, it's a little bit like soft in the middle because it's not like glued down or anything like that, but as like a non-permanent fix, I'm pretty happy with that. It's going to be comfortable on the feet. I don't think it'll get too hot. Yeah, pretty stoked with that. Now let's do that one. Alrighty, so I'm partially done the middle deck. As you can see, it's going to be a lot softer. It's puffed up heaps. It's like stretched, and I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, that next deck is going to go basically along there. That'll be closed off completely all the time now. And yeah, happy days. Let's do it. So I ended up finding some of this, which is what I used on the carpet in my old boat. Fuck all left, but I'm going to give it a kind of a quick coat underneath, see if it works. Well, I wish I found that glue earlier, because look how nice that one's come up. Just got to do some trimming around the edges, and she's all good to go in. We'll find a few screws to screw her in, and beautiful. So yesterday I finished doing all this. As you can see, this side sits in there perfectly. It's got a tiny little bit of flex to it, but in all honesty, I reckon you could almost stand on that. Like, I could almost move that to the middle and it'd be mint. I need to get some spray glue for these, because yeah, that's gonna piss me off pretty quickly. But all in all, pretty happy. Like, I moved my sounder up here because 9 out of 10 times I stand here with the electric. Let me toothbrush. With my electric and whatnot. A little blown out. But yeah, I stand up here with my electric and whatnot. So yeah, basically I'm pretty stoked. So once I get some glue on these, I'll be sweet. I'm gonna buy some more of this board fairly soon and literally just build a deck in the back here. Other than that, pretty stoked on the outcome. Nice little bit of storage underneath and whatnot. Oops, sorry. Nice little bit of storage underneath and whatnot. But yeah, I was going to try and etch in along here, cut that out and put a brag mat, or maybe in the center. I still might do that. See how I feel. To go to Sporties and see Tony and get a brag mat, one of the brag mat stickers, because I did have one. If you guys remember, I did have one across here, which was very handy. But yeah, anyway, well, goggle. What's going on, guys? So obviously on Gold Coast and that, we're in lockdown. Can't go fishing, can't do anything like that. Pretty much can't leave our houses unless it's essential and all that kind of shit. But I had some plywood sitting in this abortion of a garage. Managed to pick up a couple of little things real quickly today when I went to do food shopping. And I'm going to build a little side console for the boat. Basically it'll look something like this. I'll insert a photo here, thanks to the Brave Map bloke. He gave me the idea yesterday after he built one. And basically I'm going to build a little side console for the tinny, and mainly what it's going to be for is I've got a switch panel that's going to go in the boat eventually, which will have all my lights, my sounder and all that kind of stuff on it. My rear, I got a blue light for the rear that'll go in and all that kind of stuff. So it'll hold my switch panel. It'll have, I'm hoping to have a little shelf in it. It's going to have basically this, what they call a grab handle on top of it, like this, which will be able to be good for mounting, it'll be good for mounting GoPros and all that kind of stuff together. It's not going to be very big at all. It's pretty much going to be like 40 by 40 by 40, essentially a 40 by 40 box. And yeah, we'll trim it around a bit and that kind of thing, but eventually it'll have my sounder hanging off the side of it on a ram mount so I can spin it around and whatnot. And yeah, maybe rod holders, cup holders, that kind of shit. But yeah, so I figured I'd try and show you guys how to build it. I've never done something like this before, so this is new to me as well, so it should be fun. Sail it along. First I'm going to do a bit of measuring, but I put up the video the other day when I put this in. Since that, I've put a new seat in. Yes, the seat does look very high, but I normally sit on a milk crate in the back of this, and it's only like 10 centimeters, not even that, like 5 centimeters higher than my milk crate. I glued all this down to make it look a little nicer. I glued all this down like I said I was going to, and I've actually, oh, there it is, actually under here, as you'll see, I've put in a blue neon light. I ended up finding another 2 green ones, which is what I'm going to use for, I'm going to put one of them in the box that I'm going to make here. So essentially, one second, essentially this box is going to be the same width as my the top just here, and I was hoping to go by 40. So this box is, yeah, it's just under 30. It's like 26 wide. So if I go 40, it's going to stick out like a couple of centimeters this way, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. And we're going to go 40 wide as well, so from about there to about here. So it'll sit about that side, and then it'll sit around this high again. We may even go a little bit higher and make it 50. No, I think 40 will be nice. 45 probably. So sit about here. So sitting about here, nice little box. You can have everything hanging off it. I'm going to put a little support beam in here eventually as well, so this can be stood on. But so far so good. So there's my first piece. Obviously I'm going to use this as my bottom, my top, sorry. I'm going to go and make sure this is how high I want it. Well, it's pretty much done. The only thing I've got to do is put my shelf in, which I'm probably going to put in about there, which will leave enough room for battery underneath kind of thing, or like anything underneath. Pardon me. I'm also going to screw in across here. There's the metal bar that's there, but that's after I paint it. And then I've got a green neon in there that I'm going to try and somehow put inside this for underneath the tray underneath. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with this. Now what I'm going to do is give it a lick of paint, just give it a bit of an undercoat, and then I'm going to paint it white. And then I'm pretty much good to go. Oh, I'm going to put the shelf in first, and then yeah, happy days. Figured I'd do a little test fit, and that's how she's going to sit. I know she sits over the front here a little bit, but I'm not too stressed about that. $10 says I kicked myself a couple of times, but that's okay. But apart from that, paint, attach a couple of things to it, screw it in, happy days. Let's go. Alright, so I've just given it its first lick of primer basically. It's going to go white eventually. It's going to take a fair few coats. I'm going to put some soft stuff in here so stuff sits on that, and I'm going to put it on here as well, and then my handle will go straight on top here. Beautiful. Alright, so it's not as hot anymore. It's had its first half-assed lick of white. It's not going to be painted very well, but it's going to do the job. But yeah, so I'm going to come back tomorrow when the sun's a bit hotter and it's not as cold or windy, and do some more. So I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so what's up? Day 2. As you can see, it's gotten a lot more white. Given it a couple of coats. There's a lot of runs, but I'm honestly not too fussed about the runs. I just want a decent coat of white on it. It's mostly, these runs here are mostly going to be covered up with stickers and whatnot. I've just glued on this on the top. I managed to swap over the bar that I had, for it. So now I've got a 300mm bar. So as you would have seen, my 200mm bar, I'll stick a photo over here if I didn't put up footage, but as my 200mm bar was, it looked a lot dicky. So this is going to sit on top just like that. Probably sit around here, more forward than anything. It's not even a handle per se. It's more going to be to hold GoPros, and literally like the GoPro mount that I'm using at the moment. Hang on a second. Oh, wrong way. So you basically, to clip this GoPro mount on. So if I'm going to do it, it'll be like that. So that's the main idea for it. But obviously you can hold on to it if there's a big swell and whatnot. Yeah, pretty happy. It's coming along nicely. This side's only got a bit of a lick of paint, but I'm not too worried. My switch panel is going in here on the weekend, which I'm fucking stoked about. And yeah, it's coming along nicely. Slowly does it. I'm just waiting for the paint to dry. What I'm going to do is I worked out that because this sits out a bit, I'm going to knock off these corners here and then sand them down a little bit. Really should have done that before I painted it, but oh well, shit happens. Alright, so as you can see, very sturdy. It's got like 4 screws on either side, like sturdy enough to lift it up. So once that's screwed into the boat, it ain't going nowhere. Right now I'm about to get the circular saw out, measure this, and choppy. Just cut the corners off so I don't kill my shins on it. Alrighty, so my battery went flat, so I've just chucked a new one in, but in that time we have fitted it up. It's held in by 3 of them. I didn't get the screws in the back on, so my arms don't reach. I'll have to get someone to help me do that. But apart from that, whack the top on, rod holders in the front there, which is mint. Around this side here, let me show you, double cup holders. Pardon me, I am stoked with this. So oh yeah, my shelf is in there, and I basically coated the shelf in the same shit as this. Hopefully in the weekend I'll have my switch panel in here. But apart from that, it's been a pretty progressive week on the boat. As you can see, I lopped off the corners there so my knees and shins don't get fucking smoked. But yeah, overall I'm pretty damn happy. Eventually I'll have a live well, which my live well will sit just behind there, just behind here. The container's still open, like I can still use underneath if need be, but that's where my battery will go anyway for like on my sounder and all that kind of shit. My sounder will move from here. I think I might even just throw it straight on the side of there for now, but I prefer to not. But I want to get a ram mount for it, so once I get a ram mount for it, that's when I'll move it, but for now it'll just stay there. But apart from that, hope you enjoyed this video. This whole thing cost me about 70 bucks, I'd say. 2 pieces of wood, yeah, about 70 bucks. Yeah, happy days. I had most of the stuff already. I had a sheet of wood, I had to buy another sheet of wood, the handle, that kind of stuff. Click and collect, let's go. But apart from that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, so to finish off this video, finally finished it all. It is in. Alright, so shows you the volts, which is happy days. First thing is my light under here and this light under here, but for some reason that one's not working. Second switch. Oh yeah, we've got a light in the water down there, boys. Yeehaw. Third switch, anchor light. Fourth, nav lights. Fifth is my sounder, but I have to turn it on up there. Six has nothing, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Liquor paint on the inside, liquor paint on the outside, rod holders. I'm not sure about these rod holders though, because I've got this over here which holds rods as well, and this is where my live well will basically sit once I'm done. So but yeah, other than that, pretty stoked. Hope you enjoyed this little in-depth thing. I hope it didn't go for too long, but yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Alright, so I'll give you a little show. It's night time. It just pissed down rain on us and we've come in. So basically this light here for under there, it will be for an LED that's under there as well. This one here is for blue light in the back of the boat, which looks mint. This one here, anchor light. Next one is my front lights. This is for my sounder, but obviously I have to turn it on over there. And this one hasn't got anything on it. But yeah, as you can see, I'm very stoked. Everything helps. GoPros and shit up here, you fucking goose. And yeah, stoked. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Look.